Well, I think we better kick off. Thank you very much for joining today's webinar on taking frictionless and secure payments. My name is Ben Lefevre and I head up Sabio's network services and PCI compliance propositions. I'm joined today by Greg Armour and Matt Taylor from Sycurio. I'm going to hand over shortly to Greg, who will provide some background on Sycurio, talk through some industry trends and some typical use cases. Matt will then run through a demo of the Sycurio digital solution. Just as a bit of background, we at Sabio have been working with Sycurio, previously known as Semaphone, for over 10 years now, helping our contact center customers solve their PCI compliance challenges. I'm very pleased to see a number of existing customers on the call today. We have an extremely good partnership with Sycurio with strong relationships at all levels across the business. There will be plenty of time for questions and answers at the end of this session, which will run for about 30 to 45 minutes. But feel free to post any questions in the Q&A box. I'll monitor the questions and we'll make sure they are answered either straight away if appropriate or at the end of the Q&A session, at the Q&A session. And if any need further investigation, I will follow up. So over to you, Greg.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. Nice to see all of you together. And Ben, I appreciate the warm welcome and definitely support the long-standing partnership that we've had together for quite some time. It's good to be here with you. And Matt, thanks for joining me as well.
Sure.
Hi. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we got a small little agenda of things that we're going to accomplish today. We're going to tell you a little bit about who we are, some of the emerging trends that we see in the marketplace, give you a little bit of understanding of what we do and why we do it, show you a use case. Actually, we're going to show you a joint use case. And then give you a demo and then have time for questions and answers at the end. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, please feel free to put them in the chat. They're being monitored and we'll make sure that they get answered in turn. And if you have anything that you want to raise your hand on immediately, happy to take the question as it comes. So with that, I'll tell you a little bit about who we are, right? So here at Sycurio, to give you an idea of where we focus, we're the global leader in secure payment experiences. We focus mainly on enterprise organizations. We've been around since 2009, and we've had a very strong partnership with Sabio for over 10 years now. We handle, to give you an idea of the amount of traffic and size of what it is that we see, we're about 5 million transactions a day across about 300,000 agents. We have a global coverage, so we're in 25 plus different countries currently, and we're agnostic when it comes to PSP, CRM, CCaaS carrier. So what that means is we're a bring your own solution. We don't require you to fit into our solution. We actually build our solution to be integrated into yours. We leverage Sabio for a lot of our work, and we've got hundreds of customers that are currently utilizing our technology in order to transact from a payment standpoint. I think it's a good idea to just highlight some brands. I'm sure people on this call have seen or heard or maybe even used or worked with some of the brands that are on here. The ones that are highlighted are actually joint customers between us and Sabio. I didn't put this on here as our end-all customer platform or customer base, but more importantly, just so you can see the breadth of verticals that we actually span across. When you think about global brands that rely upon us, we hit every major vertical that pretty much takes payments, right? I mean, we have a pretty specific technology that we bring to the table and we offer and help companies achieve specific results. And they're mainly based upon, companies that are taking payments in some shape or form. So I think it's a good idea to just give you, since we are an expert in the space, some of the things that it is that we're seeing out there from trends that will help guide you in your journey into 2025 and 2026. Some statistics that we've been seeing and following are just the growth that we're seeing in the digital payment space. Over 13.8 trillion pounds is expected from the digital payment space to grow by 2028. It's only 3 years from now. Right? That's a massive market when it comes to payments and how people are looking to transact. 73% of our consumers surveyed right now currently have used some sort of digital payment since 2023. So it's not that this is the future, it's already here, right? And 60% of digital payments on in-app purchases has reached 60%. So in essence, 60% of transactions that we're seeing across our customer base are happening not just in a voice channel, but also in some sort of digital channel. And we'll help you understand a little bit about what digital channels mean and how we leverage digital channel for you. Some trends that I think are important to see, right? This is a complex ecosystem, right? And to give you an idea, we don't tend to only see like one single integration that's required in order to do this. We see multiple PSPs, we see multiple carriers, we see multiple CCaaS solutions, we see multiple payment methods, right? And so it's becoming more and more complex. So working with an expert in the space tends to allow you to become more advanced into how you go to market. Remember when I said before, we're a plug and play solution, meaning we plug into you. So it's not like you have to alter what it is that you're doing or how you're going to market. You might have even different business units that are going to market differently. We're here to make sure that we support the needs that you currently have. The contact center KPI pressure is just continuing to become, a space where everybody is measured. The lower your average handling time, the lower your first call resolution, and the lower your CES score, what happens is that all impacts your CSAT scores and profitability, right? Companies are measured on CSAT and profitability, as we all know. And so KPI pressure on these poor KPIs will hurt your ability to gain profitability and improve your CSAT. Multi-channel payment options are in high demand for consumers right now. The best thing about what it is that we do, when I tell everybody about what it is that we do, I explain to everyone that the best way for me to describe it is all of you are consumers of Sycurio technology, right? All of you have made a payment at some point in time. All of you have had to pay for something, whether that was over the phone or over a digital channel or to a bot, or think about any time you book an airline ticket. Everybody has had some sort of interaction when it comes to payments because it's personal, right? This becomes personal. So having the ability to meet your customer or your consumer in the channel of choice becomes extremely important. 45% of payments in customer service operations will be automated by 2026. That's 1 year from now. So that's almost 50% of the payments that you will take inside your business will be automated in 1 year, right? And I'll explain to you what that means to you and the benefits that it has to you and how we can help you get there together with Sabio. So to give you an idea of what it is we do to help get you there, we only do 2 things. We do voice and we do digital. Very simple. We don't try to complicate things. Inside voice, you have IVR, speech recognition, and a live agent. When it comes to digital, right, there are many different channels that a consumer might choose to interact with you. Web chat, SMS, WhatsApp, email, right? QR codes. I have some great stories about QR code customers. There are many different ways that your customer may want to interact and collect payment. Now, remember, what's the most important thing that we're trying to do in our business? Securely collect the payment, right? That's what we're in the business to do, is make sure that the secure payment can take place quickly, efficiently, effectively, and on the first call. So, as I said, we focus very simply on, excuse me 1 second, I do have a little bit of cold, so apologize. As I said, we focus directly upon 2 channels, voice and digital, and we focus our solution in 3 areas. We focus on the agent experience, we focus on the consumer experience, and we focus on the company experience. I have some friends of mine in the CCaaS business who will say, it's not agent, it's employee. I like that, right? Maybe we should start using that. But today we're going to talk a little bit about the first one, which is the agent experience, or the experience that your agents have in interacting with your consumers and how they take payment. We boost agent efficiency. We master complex compliance and security. We unlock the flexibility of how companies can choose to pay you, and we expand your channels. We make it seamless. We make it simple. We make it easy. We make it fast. We deliver first call resolutions. I don't know that anybody knows the statistic, but I guess I'll give it to you because I happen to know it. It costs 5 times the amount of money it costs you to take a payment the first time to have to take it a second time in a contact center. 5 times, right? So when we talk about average handling time or drop calls or first call resolution, being able to resolve the problem when you speak with your consumer, all of that equates to dollars back to the business, right? And Sycurio helps supercharge your agent experience with the solutions that we drive through Sabio. As we focus on the next side, which is on the customer experience, when you think of you or you think of your consumers, how do we transform that experience? How do we make it better, right? We have to protect your customers' trust. Your brand reputation is the most important thing you can have in the industry. Think about it from this perspective of fraud. What are we really protecting the consumer from? Fraud is the answer. We enable your agents to take payment from your consumers without committing fraud. It's a huge, huge business case, right? Improving the customer experience means we want to make sure that the call is resolved quickly, that it's handled more efficiently, and you can effortlessly between a digital payment and a voice payment. Meaning, if I'm on the telephone and I'm an agent and I say to customer, how would you like to pay? Would you like me to take your card information over the phone, or would you like me to send you a link or a QR code? The ability to offer those choices makes the customer feel more comfortable. All it is about comfortability. We all have a story about being uncomfortable and giving somebody our credit card information. Remember, you got to do it effortlessly. You got to do it fast. You got to make sure the payment goes through in any channel. Frictionless instant transactions. Positive customer experiences are everything that we're shooting and thriving for. But what does that mean to you as a company, right? Imagine a world like this. First of all, budget certainty. What you see is what you get. We don't have any hidden fees or any hidden agendas. We don't charge you per minute to utilize our services. We don't charge you a fee to connect to a PSP. We don't charge you a transaction fee. We simply charge you an agent fee, and in that agent fee is an unlimited ability to make transactions. When you use our solution, you can expect a decrease in handling time between 40 and 60 seconds per call on a payment call. That translates into real dollars when it comes to telephony spend. It also equates to real dollars when it comes to the cost per an FTE. By using our solution, we capture more calls. We have less dropped calls leveraging our technology, which equates to more money in your pocket. The reason why that happens is there's other solutions out there like a pause and resume, where if you're talking to a live agent, the live agent will say, you need to hang on a second while I put you into an IVR solution. Right? When that happens, right, the chances of that customer staying on are not as likely as you think. In fact, over 10% of the time, the customer will drop the call. Also, when the technology fails, there's nobody there to pick it up. So on top of it, receive more drop calls when you're not handling the conversation in an agent. Also, when you're not handling it in a digital transaction. If you don't offer the ability for that customer to use a different channel, like a chat bot, right? Like an SMS text, like the fact of if you look at any of the CCaaS solutions when it comes to autopilot and copilot and being able to have automation and AI take payments, you're going to miss the curve and increase your costs. First call resolution is extremely important in our business. We implement our solution in less than 10 weeks. Our average is about 8, which means you get the accelerated time to value from our solution because we can deliver it in 8 weeks. All of this improves all the things that we're talking about today, especially with digital, increase the efficiency of your business by over 300%. The average handling time, or more importantly, the ability for an agent to handle multiple channels through multiple chats takes it from one phone call to an agent being able to handle 4 to 5 different transactions at one time. They can handle a WhatsApp, they can handle an SMS, they can handle an email, they can handle a live chat, and they can handle a phone call, all at the same time, seamlessly transitioning between each transaction method. If you need to use an agent, there's still ways to make sure you use our technology where you use AI and autopilot, where the Autobot can actually take the payment itself. So I know I've done a lot of talking about what it is that we do and how we do it, but I hope you're starting to imagine a way for your business to evolve into leveraging digital and the digital transformation, no matter where you are on your journey. I'm going to turn it over to my colleague Matt, who's going to do a little bit of talking to you about a use case and then show you a demo, and we'll move into Q&A. And I look forward to answering any questions that any of you have. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Greg. I'm going to kick off and talk about just one customer, a customer use case, long-term customer of Sycurio, being a large UK insurer in Admiral. Generally, they have a big focus on innovation and a big focus on their customer, ensuring they give their customers everything they need. As I mentioned, Admiral have been a long-term customer of Sycurio far before we had any digital channels. So they did use pause and resume in their contact center, card data arriving in the environments, but the pausing of the call recording and resuming afterwards was the solution at the time. That was replaced with our voice solution. And so agents have the ability to descope their entire environment when capturing card data. And then as things have moved along in the contact center industry with automation, agentless transactions, and all the bots and all the clever things we hear about nowadays, Admiral have kept up with that. They've taken our digital solution and now use digital in SMS, email, web chats, and to engage with customers. And they have automated flows for debt collection. So they can do all of that with no agents involved at all, using Sycurio's APIs and the user interfaces Sycurio can provide. It's the ability to just constantly transform their contact center and keep up with the latest trends. Main thing from their perspective, though, is they give the customer everything they need. That agent and the customer experience are both improved. The operational efficiency in the contact center, so agents are handling higher value transactions and complicated transactions rather than every single transaction that needs to be handled, is really key to them. And the output from that being a productivity increase and also the reduced cost. Really high level overview there. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to bring that digital journey to life with a live agent scenario, just a bit of a basic interface for you today. And I'm also going to show you a bot scenario, speaking to a conversational AI, and again, taking a payment with no agents involved at all. Just going to swap my screen over 1 second. Bear me 1 sec. Hopefully you can see that okay. Greg, can you see that okay? Hopefully you can see that. So over here on the left-hand side, you can see an interface that's an agent would use in a contact center. This could be actually on a phone call, something which is becoming more and more popular in a contact center nowadays. The ability for an agent to, as Greg mentioned earlier, take the payment over the phone via voice, or you could say to the customer, let me drop you a payment link out via SMS, and the customer has additional payment options as well, not just the ability to type in some card data, but you can provide digital wallet access like Apple Pay and Google Pay and things like that. So just giving the customer more options and making it easier for the customer to make a payment. The scenario here, like I say, everything can be done via an API. But I'm going to do this one manually just for demo purposes. The agent's going to type in an amount for a transaction that would normally get pulled from a CRM in automatically. But like I say, I'm keeping this simple today. I'm going to type in a reference number here as well, a unique reference for the transaction. Again, that would normally come from a CRM automatically. But we're going to type those in. We're going to go off to the Sycurio platform and generate a payment link for that customer. Now, the link has been generated. The agent then gets an interface that allows them to track that link in real time. They've got some options as well here. There's a QR code that a customer can grab and drop that out to their customer via email or another channel. You do actually have the option to configure this page to send SMS and email as well. So there are multiple options from Sycurio in terms of deploying these things out to a customer. I'm going to keep the demo really simple today and literally copy that link and paste it into my browser on the right-hand side, so you can actually see the agent and the customer interaction at the same time. Left-hand side, of course, being the agent desktop. That widget, of course, I'm running it standalone in a browser here, but most customers will actually take that widget and embed it within their CCaaS environment or within their CRM environment. So it's part of the agent journey rather than running it as a standalone application. Now, I've opened that link over here on the right-hand side of the screen as the customer, and you can see the customer has the options on how they want to pay. They could use Apple Pay and Google Pay. They've got the option for PayPal. We can also provide the customer options for instant bank transfer, which is becoming really popular over here in the UK and in Europe. I'm going to do it the old school way, though, of typing in my card data, and I'm going to click on card number, I'm going to start entering my card data into the form as the customer. But as you can see on the agent interface, that's updating in real time. Just for any customers on the call using Sycurio Voice today, where the agent's getting number 1 beeps in their ear and they're seeing asterisks coming up on the screen, digital is working very similarly here. The customer's entering their card data into their own device, into a page hosted by Sycurio. All of the checks that we do around bin checks and LUN checks for validating a card in real time are still occurring as you would have seen before. And you can see the agent can see that progress happening on their screen in real time. As the customer navigates through that form to complete that data required for the transaction, sometimes cardholder name or postcode and other things are needed here as well, depending on the PSP and the transaction type. So there may be a few more fields over here on the right-hand side sometimes. But the customer's entered the required data for this transaction. You see the agent interface continues to update, so the agent knows everything that's happening on that payment link. The customer can hit make payment. That goes off to the gateway and completes the transaction. And the customer instantly gets their reference numbers and that sort of thing that they can store for any future reference. The agent also gets that displayed to them as well. The agent can see the payment's been succeeded. All of the required reference numbers are displayed to the agent in that interface. And it's not just displaying that to an interface as well. We can push that back to against the company record automatically. So in
So one thing
case,
I want just to hop on and piggyback for you, Matt. One of the things that I always like to highlight here is the best thing that you can do is have communication if you are in a live agent situation, even in a digital conversation with the consumer, right? They want to know and they want to feel comfortable that the transaction is taking place. And our solution is one of the only solutions out there that gives the visibility to the agent to be able to communicate with the consumer if they so choose to, right? So you have definition in front of you and data in front of you that allows you to communicate with your consumer to make sure that they're aware that the transaction is happening. We even have the ability to tell you that something went wrong, so the agent can communicate and tell the consumer that something went wrong with the digital payment. So I like the fact and always highlight that visibility exists across both sides of the communication channel, whether it's voice or digital.
Thanks, Greg. Just going to give you the example and link it back to Admiral that we were talking about earlier. And just whilst I do that, if anyone does want to scan the QR code on their device and just pop open a Sycurio payment link on their phone, feel free to do that. I'll leave this just open on my screen for a second. But from an Admiral perspective, the exact process you've seen here, where an agent can engage in their own CRM, the agent's able to generate a link with a button click using our API, drop that link out to a customer in real time, and then monitor it as an agent in the contact center. So the agent gets that real-time feedback. All of that is happening automatically behind the scenes. It's a very, very easy thing to implement. They actually have more than 10 different applications integrated into our digital platforms. And they also have all of their batch processes running for debt collection as well. So lots and lots of different use cases. And I could bore everyone on the call for hours with that. I won't do that today. I do see some people have opened that link behind the scenes. So just I'm not sure how many people have done that, but you can see there's a few people there. It's starting to update me as an agent. Those links have been opened behind the scenes there. I'm just going to move on to my last demo, and then we can hand it back to Greg and Ben for Q&A. This demo here is a mocked up energy company. So you can see it's an energy company website. Just going to refresh that. It's been sitting there for an hour or so. But I've navigated to the website. I'm looking around. I'm a customer of Acme Energy in this case here. And you can see down here, we've got Ava. Ava is a conversational AI chatbot that's sitting on the website. And Ava has the ability to interact with me, give me what I need as a customer, but there's no agent involved here at all. It's completely driven via a bot. I do need to type in my mobile number as a, to basically get the details of who the customer is. So a quick ID and V, identification and verification, a very basic one for demos, maybe a little bit more complicated in real life. But you can see there it's recognized who I am, and the bot's reached out and say, how can I help? Now, this is a conversational AI. So if I wanted to say, tell me about solar panels, it's going to go off and find all of the detail about solar and start trying to sell me some solar panels, which is what the bot's there for. What I can also say is tell me my balance, because obviously I'm a customer. I need to know how much I want to actually pay today. And when I do that, the bot's provided me my updated balance. It's also giving me options on how I want to make that payment. Again, giving the customer the ability to stay in their channel of choice. the customer could say, send me a text message, because it pops up on their phone and they can use Apple Pay or something like that. I'm going to use the inline option. So without leaving my chat at all, I'm actually going to go off to Sycurio with a button click. It's going to automatically serve me a payment link within my window here. And as a customer, I've never left the chat. I'm still engaging with the bot. I can come along and start typing in my card data. But all of this is happening with no agents involved, completely automated process on the website. So really efficient from a self-service perspective. The customer can go ahead, type in all their card details, complete their transaction like they did before. And this is a bot. We can go on and say, yes, I'd love to learn more about solar. And the bot can try and upsell me and book me appointments and things like that if I wanted to. Just to give you the option and just to show you multiple transactions happening, I could say pay a deposit. I'm going to buy some solar panels, and it's going to give me the option again if this is what the balance is to do that. And again, you can go off, either you can provide the customer some payment options. You could just serve them a payment link and sort of directly in the chat if you wanted to. This time, we're giving the customer the ability to use digital wallets within the chat rather than just typing in card data. I'm going to do it the old school way once again. But once we type in the card data, all of those notifications that we're getting sent back to a live agent, they're also being sent back to the bot in real time. So let's say the customer started entering in their card data and they paused, a bit of a possum customer happening in the background. The bot knows that. The bot would be able to drop a message out to the customer to say, I can see you're entering card data, but you've stopped. Is there anything I can do to help? So just being a bit more proactive with the customer. Again, going to go ahead, complete the transaction, hit make payment at the bottom so we can get our reference numbers as we needed. And the bot's continuing with the other conversation around booking me in for a solar appointment. So I can say, of course, 1 p.m. next Tuesday works. And of course, we can end the chat there. So really simple interaction from a customer's perspective, really simple sort of delivery of a payment link automatically within that chat. And the customer can do everything they want without having to go and speak to an expensive resource with an agent. I'm going to stop talking there for a second, or I will talk forever. I'm going to jump back to stop sharing my screen, and I'll reshare the slide deck, and we can move on to some Q&A.
Wow. Wow, Matt, that was powerful. Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. If anybody does have any questions, please pop them in the question and answer box, and we'll answer those. The one question I've had so far is about whether you need to log into a portal to make to send payment links. I could probably answer that, but I'll let you, Matt.
Yeah, you can put it behind the login if you wanted to. So we do have the ability to do agent tracking and those sorts of things on the agent UI provided by Sycurio. If you are using it via the API, though, so let's say you're using Salesforce or Zendesk or something like that, those platforms are actually generating the links themselves. So there's no need to log into Sycurio as well. The API request gets fired behind the scenes from the account logged in Salesforce. So no need to log in from Sycurio's perspective. We're going to keep it as simple as possible for an agent. We don't want a blocker to slow down the call. So we will tend to sit on the back of a previous login elsewhere, like a Genesis platform or something like that.
Yeah, working with the largest companies in the world like yourselves, right? We've learned that it's a lot easier for us to meet you where you want to be met than try to make you fit into where we fit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess on that, can the payment pages be customized? You showed us a couple of examples there.
Yeah, different parameters can be used as and when needed, and we can provide additional detail to the customer in terms of what are they paying for and balances and things like that. The pages can also be customized with different branding, so new logos or panels along the top of the page for different adverts and things like that. So yes, all of that can be customized. The URL string itself as well also has the customer's name in. So if you look at Admiral as a good example again for today's session, in the URL string, they will have admiral.sycurio.com as part of the URL string. And when those links go out to their customer, just to give the customer that confidence is coming from the right place.
Correct.
Very good. Very good. And what about multiple languages? Is there support for more than just English?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, multiple languages is a parameter set when you actually generate the links. So each individual link can be set to a different parameter in real time. So if you do have a customer that speaks Spanish or French or Italian, for example, when you generate that link, if you pull that parameter from the CRM, that let's say Greg is now Spanish, and when I send Greg a payment link, I can actually pass in one single parameter, change that link to Spanish and send it to him.
You made him leave.
Sorry, Greg.
No,
I
I'm
wasn't
back.
trying to offend you by saying you're Spanish.
Oh,
I
very
had to
good.
I had to sneeze as I told you I have a cold.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Any other questions from our participants here? I don't see any others, which I take as a positive news. For any follow-up, obviously, please come through to myself, and I'll deal with any follow-up, either with the help of Sycurio directly, or if not through me, please go through your Sabio account manager to ask any questions or get any further details. But I think if there are no more questions, I will thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you very much, Greg and Matt. And there you go. There's a link to my email and my phone number should anybody need it.
Well,
Thank you very
man.
much.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for Sabio and all the years of our relationship. And we're here to help. And we're here to help you get to where you need to be. So reach out and we'll talk to you all soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.